I'm Dylan Cunningham. Thanks for taking a minute to look at my capstone presentation. This is the culmination of a 6-month full-time web development immersive course at Galvanize in Phoenix. We learned to be full-stack web developers, and the idea of this course is to use those skills as well as learn an unfamiliar environment in a short time period and build something practical that really works. So with all the great ideas for apps out there, I decided that what the world really needs is another social media app. Well, in reality, the problem is that the more friends we have and the more events we have access to in our lives, it actually makes it harder to make plans and spend time with people that you care about. In reality, I thought it would be great that if we could have an app that would help you create events and respond to events by addressing these questions. Who should I invite? When's a convenient day for everyone to meet up? And how do we get a really good RSVP list? And my solution to this is my app called Eventually. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'll go ahead and log in with an existing user. Yeah, just like most social media apps, we're welcomed onto the page. This is our home screen. Here we have all of our existing friends. You can go in and have a look at their friends. Kind of standard stuff. The meat of this app is really the events list. Yeah, so you can go into an event. See, we're hosting this event. 0 people have accepted. Here's another event that we're invited to. You can see that 2 people have accepted, Slater and Cartman, and 2 other people, including us, have been invited. So here is where you either accept events, notice they turn green and go to the top if you accept, or if you decline, they go to the bottom. You can also say maybe. You can change. Yep, so that's how we handle our events. Let's go ahead and log out. We'll create a new user here. All right, so we're logged in. We have Lana's profile picture here. She has no friends and she has no events. So let's go ahead and do a search for George. We'll add him as a friend. Log out. Log back in as George. And here we go. We have a pending request from Lana. Let's go ahead and accept this request. So now we see Lana is among our friends. So the bread and butter of this app really has to do with a calendar. And I created this calendar from scratch. I couldn't find anything that I really liked. But the idea is that you can select days that you're free and days that you're not free. Yeah, and you can switch months and add days. So all of these days come together and they present a picture to other users of when we're available. Like for example, let's go ahead and see. So we have one event that we've started here. Let's go ahead and continue inviting some friends to this event. We'll invite Lana, Lisa, Slater, Kelly, Newman, and Kramer. Sorry, Carlton. Yeah, and next we can see the day that most people are available is January 7th, followed by January 29th, and it ranks them that way. We can also see them, the days that people are available closest to today. So let's go ahead and pick this date. Yeah, now we can see that we have all of these people who are invited. We'll go ahead and log out and log back in as Lana. So here we have our event. We are invited to it, and we'll go ahead and accept. Yep. All right. So that's the basics of my app. That's how it works. The stack I use to create it Well, my goal was to get really good with React and Redux. I wanted to build something big. If you want to learn how to build a better house, you just build it taller and taller and see where it starts to break, right? So my goal was to build something pretty heavy that had a lot of opportunity for things to go wrong. And I wanted to really get my boilerplate down and figure out how to structure this app so that it worked. And I think I accomplished that. I also used a new framework for the server. I used Sales.js, which was pretty cool, especially for rapid prototyping. Sales has has an ORM called Waterline. It's pretty useful. It's an MVC framework, and I had a lot of fun playing with that as well. Another one of my goals was to get a really good Webpack configuration, so I abandoned Create React App, which is actually pretty useful, I've discovered. But I ended up figuring out how to configure it all myself. I got Webpack set up. I ended up using Sass to precompile my CSS, which is a pretty great system. And I'd never used MongoDB, so it was pretty cool to check that out. The challenges I faced, like unsurprisingly, some of it had to do with state. I ended up getting a lot better at that. I did get a great boilerplate set up in the end, and I learned how to use MongoDB. Kind of got off SQL, which I'll tell you, I really miss those join tables. There's a lot of useful stuff you can do with Postgres or MySQL. So it's good to know. As for extension goals, really, you can't make a good social media app that scales well on MongoDB. So it should really be converted to a graph database. The last week of this project, or really the last few days, I ended up having a bunch of interviews, and I ended up not having much time to complete some of the stuff that I wanted to work on. I really wanted live chat to happen. I wanted to get WebSockets set up. I just didn't have time for it. I'd like to, throughout the process of building this, I ended up learning how to write better reducers and having better state. So honestly, I'd like to go through and rewrite all of that. And I've also gotten recently sold on Material UI, which is Google's answer to CSS in React. I think it's a great system, higher order components, and I'd like to start using that more in the future. Thanks a lot for taking the time to check out my Capstone project. Hope you liked it, and hope to hear from you soon. Thanks. Bye.